We are going to be talking about how to create reels that are engaging, educational, and have the best chance of going viral. My name is Lisa Snyder. I'm the co-founder of Toketivity, and I'm here with my friend, the Mommy Jane, who co-wrote and co-authored this amazing guide about social media that we put together, and we are going to be giving you the download about Reels today. So welcome, Jessie.
Hi, thank you for having me, everybody. I'm very excited. Those of you that are here today, please stick around for the end. We're going to be offering a really great deal on the guide, and I don't want you all to miss out. We're also going to be doing some Q&A afterwards. That's going to be in a session. So if you want to save your questions for an in-person chat with us, that's where we're going to be afterwards. We have a lot of people that are signed up for this and a lot of people in here. And I just want to remind everybody that everything that we're going to talk about today, from business owners to personal brands, all of this is going to apply to you in some way. So don't think that, just because you don't create a product, this won't pertain to you, or if you're not an influencer, this won't pertain to you. If either spectrum of this industry, this will be an informative live for all of you. And I'm very excited to share all the information that I've been gathering over the past few years through the Reels. And when Lisa and I were talking about creating this event, one of the big themes that was coming through was people would be crazy to not utilize all the free methods of marketing that social media platforms like Instagram offers. So especially for people that are, looking to stay here for a very long time and actually want to grow with this industry. I just read an MG retailer that we're getting the federal legalization bill is going to be going to the Senate for the first time, or for the first time in a while, that will possibly be actually going through. So when it comes down to it, the industry will probably open up a little bit more, and social media will probably open up more if and when that stuff goes through. So it's so important for people like us that want to attract an audience to, get Reels and get them going. Because the good thing about Reels is, the cool thing about Reels is that Reels will attract an audience that you typically won't get, or people that don't typically see your content. And for most things, this doesn't work in everyone's favor, because you're going to get views from brands that are from people that maybe have nothing to do with what you're trying to share. Maybe it's not even your demographic or your audience. But the cool thing is about Reels in this industry is you're opening up people's eyes that might not actually in the beginning see cannabis content, but because the algorithm will just skyrocket those Reels into the algorithm and into the explore page, then people that normally wouldn't get a chance to see those Reels will have an opportunity to be educated and informed, and hopefully entertained by each and every one of you. So, Lisa, do you want me to, excuse me, I'm so sorry to not say this in the chat, but I don't want to not say anything, but do you want me to present? Are you going to be presenting the slides right now, or do you want me to start sharing?
I'll take care of it on this side, and
okay.
Just kind of go
okay,
from
there. Perfect.
Yeah.
Excuse me, everybody. I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah.
So one of the things that comes together when it comes to slides, one of the issues, why Reels are so important, that nearly half of Generation Z is using TikTok now instead of Instagram for search instead of Google. So this is according to Google's own data. Business Insider reported it. That's where I got the information, but you can Google this. That's almost half of Gen Z that does not rely to Google to get information. They are going to Google cannabis and motherhood. They're going to be Googling CBD products, or not Googling, but researching CBD information and cannabinoid information through these platforms that we use. So once again, Instagram is a platform that offers free marketing for you and your brand. Use it, get in touch with the trends, follow the brands, or follow the pages that are creatives, such as the creator Instagram, so that you can stay up to date with these updates and with these new trends and all that stuff. And for those of you that already follow, you already know this, but for those of you that don't, Instagram just announced last week that they're now going to be making every video a reel on the platform. So any video that you create now will end up becoming a reel. So they're almost forcing us at this point to become creatives with reels, whether we want to or not. And if you're sitting here and you've been stubborn about it, you're not alone. I actually, when they rolled out the reels, I was just turned off by the whole idea that I thought, I'm not going to learn how to do this. I don't want to learn how to do this. I'm just going to keep making carousels, keep doing my posts the way I want to do it. But after a while, I realized that wasn't lending myself the opportunity for growth that I could be offering myself. And so it took it upon myself to understand how the psychology of reels works and why it's so important for our industry and important for people like you to get on that wagon as well. And reels are a great opportunity for your voice and message, like I said, for your audience to get to see content that they normally wouldn't get to see. And it puts suggested content over everything else. So as you probably noticed in the last 6 months, I'd say to a year, more and more that you see on your Explore feed have been reels or video content of some sort. So it's not just me that's saying it. Instagram has been absolutely pushing video. And even before I started the Mommy Jane, I took a social media class, and they told me years ago, and this was like 6 years ago, that video is going to be king. If you're going to be a content creator, get into the video. And I, once again, did not listen to that very much. And I didn't listen to, the people around me that were telling me to keep creating video. But this is our chance. It's not too late. Like I said, we haven't even become federally legalized yet. You are not too late in this industry, and you're definitely not too late to learn about reels. And as we've realized, reels aren't going anywhere. Instagram is now prioritizing all of that as it's and because of original content. So original content, if you don't know what that is, that's going to be things that you have created. If you follow me on Instagram, I've been doing a lot of original content lately. My Mythbusters are original content. It's something that I've come up with. It's my audio. And so it's really important for us to get a little creative, get a little uncomfortable, and start making reels now, especially because they can be monetized. Not everybody can get this, I know, and that monetization can be taken away from us, as we've seen in the last couple of weeks. With my accounts, I can't even tag brands to partnerships anymore. So yes, they will come after us, but I'm hoping with this new possible legalization with federal descheduling, this will be really big for us and a great step for us to be able to advertise and share on the platform in a way that it was intended and in a way that everybody else gets to utilize that platform. That would be nice, right?
Yep.
Okay.
I really appreciate us going over, like, just really understanding why reels are important. I think that some of us have been avoiding them, or maybe we've tried them on and it didn't really totally work. And then we're like, screw it. We're not going to I don't want to try again. I'm just going to go back to what I normally do, which is like pictures and maybe not even posting. And so our intention here is to really empower you with information so that you can make educated decisions around how you want to participate in this free marketing, which we all know that it's tough out there, especially for women and BIPOC owned businesses. And anything we can do to navigate free advertising is something we should absolutely be leaning into.
Absolutely. I think it's really, really important. Okay, so what are the big issues with reels? Okay, I ask you guys in my stories, and I'm sure some of you, as Lisa was saying, we have trouble with confidence, and it can be a little cringy sometimes when it comes to creating reels or TikToks and videos in general. I know some of us feel uncomfortable because of the sound of our voice, or we don't like the way we look, but it's really important for us to build up our confidence, especially in this industry, because as I mentioned earlier this morning, if you guys caught me on the live with Sweet Jane Magazine, we need to work on our personal development, because this industry can knock us around very often, whether it's our unsupportive family members, unsupportive friends, unsupportive community. We need to work on ourselves so that when the going gets tough, we push harder. We don't give up. We don't stop doing reels. We don't stop creating content. We make even more content. We make even more reels. When I was shadow banned during the pandemic, I didn't stop making content. I made a guide instead. So there's a way that we can always be creating, always be contributing to this industry, even when we're on like a timeout or on a creative break, or all these things that can happen to us either against our will or by choice. So I think it's really important that we kind of cultivate a great environment for ourselves first and foremost. And these are my ideas and Lisa's ideas that we've come up with that have helped ourselves along the way, and like people that we know throughout the industry that we can always learn from each other, right? So writing compliments down. when someone says something nice to you, you get a good email, a great text message, a nice DM. I want you to write those down and reflect on them, feel them out. Like I remember one, I will still to this day, I can almost remember it verbatim. This guy DM'd me and he said, "I love the way you demystify cannabis for mothers." And it's something that I never considered, but when you hear it from someone else's mouth, it kind of makes you realize what you really are doing and what you are contributing to this industry in such an impactful way that maybe you don't even realize. Or, you get compliments from even your children. It's always good to hear, great things. Write those things down and really feel them out and understand that those people aren't just paying compliments for no reason. This is someone taking their time out of their day, and you really need to let that resonate with you. We dwell on all the negative stuff. We need to start dwelling on the confident stuff too. I love this one also. Hang up thank you notes around your workspace. Every time I get a thank you note, I save it. I save every single piece of gratitude that I've been given since I've started the Mommy Jane. And on days that the going gets tough, I go into my drawer and I have a drawer full of kid art from my kinders and my fourth and fifth graders, but I also have a drawer that's separate from my industry people. And I look through those and I remember all the things that I've done, all the great things that we've done. So gratitude's amazing. Keep it around you at all times and also give it back. Give that gratitude back. What we give is what we get. The more gratitude we give, the more gratitude that we get. So, and then another way that we can kind of take that first one and amplify it is take those compliments and those things that you can celebrate, those successes that you had over the week, and create a confidence or a cheer jar that's going to cheer you up. You're going to write down affirmations, and you can write down them actually on the outside of the jar. Words are everything. You can write down well done or proud of you. And every time you accomplish something that you're proud of, or someone pays you a compliment, you put that in the jar and then read those. Once again, reflect on those either at the end of the year, or if you're just having a really shitty day or a really bad week where you're kind of not feeling motivated, not feeling worthy, not feeling like you want to do anything. I swear there's nothing better than feeling good and knowing that you are supported by the people around you. Which brings me to the next one, prioritizing self-love and not just self-care. It's really important for us. It's not about the bath. It's all about also making sure that we're getting enough sleep, making sure that we are also balancing our work and play well, getting enough time outside. I know all of us are in our offices working hard throughout the day, but it's important for us to make sure that we're getting vitamin D so that we don't get into depressive states and start to get into that lack of confidence mindset. I love this one, and I use this one for photo shoots or when I'm filming and creating content. I make a feel-good playlist. I pump myself up, and you can have different ones. I have some labeled with different I have a sativa mix, a hybrid mix, and an indica mix. So whatever you're feeling, just like when you reach for your strains and your medicine, you can reach for that music that's going to put you in the right mindset for your day, your week, whatever it is that you have ahead that you need to tackle.
Desi,
and yes.
I wanted to just jump in here and wonder and ask if you might share some of your playlists with us, maybe even link them in your stories or something like that. And those who are not following you, or maybe you're already following, we can grab that stuff.
I would love to share that. I actually created those playlists years ago, just in case it ever got to that point where people would be interested in hearing. There's this one podcaster that I really love and adore. She's a comedian, Christina Pazinski, and she taught me through her podcast that before she goes on stage, she listens to gangster rap. This was 6 years ago. I listened to this on her podcast. So ever since then, I'm yeah, you know what? I'm going to pump myself up too. I'm going to make some good mixes that make me feel good. And so I kind of got that idea played off of her and what she does to pump herself up to do stand-up comedy. Because once again, it takes a lot of confidence to do stand-up comedy. It takes a lot of confidence to put yourself out there. And I may not be gangster rap for you, but every time I listen to some good gangster rap, I feel unstoppable. So I'll be sharing those. I love that Lisa mentioned that. And that's definitely something I can work on this week to make you guys, feel equipped.
Yeah, I wanted to add here, we didn't really cover this yet, but confidence and cringe. What does cringe mean to you? Because, and we kind of I think we all kind of know what that feels like, but I really just wanted to address that because this is the dance that we're doing right there. When we put ourselves out there on social media, we are dancing with confidence and the cringy stuff. So can you just talk about that briefly?
Yes. So when I say cringe, it's the way that I felt originally when it came to reels. When I saw them coming up into my feed, I was I'm just kind of cringing at the idea, cringing at the thought of having to do something new and learn something new. And, I didn't like the idea of doing dance moves and pointing to the screen. That just didn't feel authentic to me. And I will get to that in a little bit because that's actually really, really important. And probably a good thing that I didn't like dive into that too much, try and do things that weren't serving me or authentic to myself or my audience. But it's really important that, we don't take ourselves too seriously. We get so caught up in like I hate to say the word ego, but it is our egos. Our egos tell us these things like, oh, you're making a fool of yourself, or you can't dance, or your voice sounds weird, or why didn't you brush your hair? And we have that internal dialogue that prevents us from making really incredible content, putting ourselves out there, and giving ourselves an opportunity to be seen, heard, and grow. And I don't want you guys to do that to yourselves. These apps are here to put us out there in ways that we never ever imagined. And I'm going to give you guys those tools and steps today so that you can take the information this week and by next week be creating awesome content. It's not as what you need to realize, it's not as overwhelming as it may seem. There's a lot less steps involved. It's about building yourself up and loving yourself and the work that you do above everything else. Your work and your love for your craft need to be the highest of the highs to be in this industry and to be successful and to stay afloat, and we dive into the personal development. We actually have a lot of journaling involved on the guide and step-by-step like mirror practices that you can do with yourself. So for those of you that are interested in that, please consider getting the guide today. We are going to be doing a heavy discount. I love that. I love a good deal as a mom and as an entrepreneur. It's important for us to find ways that we can always save money.
So,
and then,
yes, so continuing on in the building confidence, right? Because that's like the bones of everything we do out there in the world is like building confidence and also like creating stepping stones for ourselves to be able to try things on and also make mistakes and learn from each one. So Jessie had a mantra here that she used in her own language, and then I kind of switched it around and kind of had my own mantra based on that. So Jessie's mantra, maybe she can elaborate on this more. I will not compare my content and career with another creator. Can you share a little bit about what that means?
Yes, I feel like in this industry, there's a lot of like, I don't want to call everybody out, and I don't want to call the women of this industry out. I feel like there's a lot of lack mindset that goes around, and I've been saying this for years, but there are no dimensions at the top. The stage is not a 12 by 12. It's not even a 20 by 20. The stage is limitless. And if you want a place up here, then you can actually achieve it. It's not you going, oh, well, I already posted this reel. Why are they talking about this? No, we need everybody talking about the same things in their own ways to reach different audiences if we're really going to break the stigma. We need more than one CBD brand so that people have options out there. We need more than one mother influencer out there because I'm not always going to be relatable to everybody. We need multiples of everything in order to succeed. And when we go on social media in the morning and we're comparing likes and we're comparing, how people are, how well they're doing and etc., just all the different things that we can get in our head. I don't want you guys moving forward from today to get into that space anymore. I want you to do your best to stay in your space and not compare your content with or your career or your progress with other people. There are going to be women that step into the space and they will take off and you're going to wonder how. But you don't know the struggles that they did beforehand. And sometimes people just have that luck and that's just their journey. Your journey is going to be different.
Every person is a version of themselves, and that's all we can really be is who we really are, and continue to learn who we are and continue to figure out how to communicate that outwardly. So I switched this around and just wrote, I will focus on my own content creation and put energy into enjoying my own journey. So again, when you find yourself floating above and looking at what other people are doing and having certain feelings about what everybody else is doing, remember to come back and get grounded and recentered in what you were doing, focus on your own content creation, and put energy into enjoying your journey.
Pull something from that confidence jar if you're feeling icky that day. The minute you start to feel yourself sink, find ways to bring yourself back up and get back to that vibration, that frequency that you deserve. That's going to make you feel good. We are always attracted to powerful people. Why do you think that's the case? Why? It's because of the confidence, you guys. Maybe it's the money too, but it's the confidence when it comes down to it.
Yep. And then you had written here, your reel does not have to go viral to be valuable. Can you share about that?
Yes, you guys. Oh my goodness. I truly believe that even the one person that needs to see it is so important. Imagine you create a reel and 50 people see it. Okay. You think, I wish that was like 5,000 or 500. But let's just say that out of those 50 people, two of those people, their lives have been changed. You shared something that was so valuable that they're thinking, well, actually, I'm going to try that. I'm not going to drink today. I'm actually going to try this CBG beverage that they shared, and I'm going to see if this works for me. You have no idea the impact that you're creating with your content, and it ripples out. It keeps on rippling out. So every person that hears your message, it's an important message. In my opinion, every reel that we create in this industry is valuable. Every reel has potential to go viral because we are sharing things that people have usually never heard of before, things that they have never seen before, and it's usually controversial or shocking. And to me, that all that's valuable because we're changing minds, we're changing hearts, and we're changing lives.
Yep. One post, one moment at a time.
Yes, exactly. How can we feel less cringe? Okay. As I was mentioning earlier, we all go through that feeling that you get. Maybe you feel that with any content creation. Maybe when you're making a post, even you start to get that tightness in your chest, and you start to feel like the awkwardness starts to just seep through you. Realize that everyone has to make reels if they want to grow on social media or on TikTok. You got to do the video platform. Video, once again, content is king. You can't avoid it. So create content that is authentic to your audience, and don't try and do something that you are not meant to do. If you are doing things that make you feel weird, then your audience is going to feel that too. You don't want to go up there doing stuff that's like you're awkwardly moving and you're just awkwardly moving. They can see it if you can feel it. Trust me, energy moves and it passes. So you want to be able to find ways to share your information. And I will give you guys ideas at the end of this as well. You want to be able to share your information authentically. Just because your friends doing something doesn't mean that you have to do it too. Just because other content creators or brands are creating reels a certain way does not mean that you have to too. And you can shake things up and come up with your own things and your own ways to communicate your message. I heard this from another content creator last week, Sabrina, who let me be a mom. We were talking about reels, and she said, look at life like it has a potential to be content. Take videos and photos of everything around you, and that you love and represent your brand. Take photos of everything you don't even think you would need. If you're at a dispensary and you see a cool looking weed leaf, take a photo of that, because that could be a cover of a reel later on, or that can be used for a post maybe, or something for a background. So even things that you may not seem huge to you but are just kind of cute or beautiful or have to do with your brand, just take those photos. If it's in a color scheme that's in your brand, take those photos, because you can utilize that on your page to make it look beautiful and fluid and on brand.
I've been doing this more and more just because we all have the phones in our pockets, which are video cameras. And this is why everything has kind of moved into video land, is that we have these video pockets video cameras in our pocket, So I've been doing that more and more, and I've been looking to people who are showing off their skills of okay, so I'm used to panning this way and this way, but what are the other cool things you can do? There's so much potential to create content, and like you said, life has so much content.
Right. And we dose all day, you guys. Think about that. We're dosing all day. We're working all day. You have opportunities to show behind the scenes of your life and your regimen all day, every day. Okay, go on.
Yep. So, how can we feel less cringe? Your mantra, I'm probably never going to see these people again. I'm assuming you're talking about the people who are looking
at out in public. Yeah, because I still to this day, even at champs, you guys, I still I get my little cringe moment. I'm like, ugh. I'm like, nope, everyone's creating content. You go out there, girl, you got to do it. Pick up that phone, hold it up proud.
Oh, when you're creating content. Okay, I gotcha.
Yes, when you're out in public and people are staring at you and you're talking to yourself and you feel like a goofball.
Yeah.
It's the new norm now. Just don't end up on influencers in the wild.
I don't even know that was a thing. So I'm probably never going to see these people again. Creating this content will not only benefit my life, but others as well. And I know another mantra here, or kind of a different way of thinking about it. I was thinking about it like when you're posting and like the fear of who's going to see this. So that's why I changed my version of the mantra was I release the outcome of who sees this content once completed. I know this content will benefit anyone who comes across it. So I think it's actually a really important part of the process of like doing your best to do what you are trying to do. And then once it's out there in the world, like it's out there, you know, and not obsessing over who's going to see this and when and all that stuff. And just kind of like, you know, of course, looking to, if you want to get nerdy with it, analytics to learn from each experience. But like, you know, as Jesse said earlier, that the content will benefit anyone who comes across it.
Yeah. It's really important for us to look at what we're doing, even if it's just once a month. If you can't handle it every week, I get it, I understand, but once a month, just evaluating what your audience wants to see. It sometimes will surprise you.
And you said here, you know, there comes a point in your career when you need to stop watching other people's stories and start sharing your own. So again, it's about like stopping focusing on what other people are doing and just doing what you do best.
Yeah. We spend a lot of time on social media. I would say even more time than I probably should sometimes. But what we do with that time is important. Okay. It's like, are we in there checking DMs or are we in there looking at other people's reels? And it's fine. We should be doing R&D. I'm not saying don't look at other content, but don't spend 45 minutes being stuck in that vortex and just going like, yeah, and another one. No, that's when you need to realize that your stories are just as important to be shared. Let someone else get stuck up on your reels, and don't spend all your time watching other people grow in front of you.
Okay, so continued education, always be thinking about how you can continue your own education. Jesse was sharing with me how important it is to study psychology, to understand the people, you know, what people are doing and how they think and feel. Staying up to date on science to understand the world and how our industry is being shaped by it. Educating yourself on the history of whatever it is you're talking about, whether it's cannabis. I know we're also starting to talk about psychedelics and mushrooms out there in the world and other plant medicines, and lots of other topics that we probably are working on out in the world. So, you know, you can learn about the people and the cultures that made the industry what it is today. It's really, really important.
Yeah, and we have that in the guide too. We have a whole history section in the guide, you guys, that we go, and it's brief, but any little bit that we can educate ourselves on is better than nothing.
I agree. And you can go on a tangent. I know that Google is an amazing tool, and we could all kind of go down a Google rabbit hole in learning, and also like probably go back to a TikTok rabbit hole or Instagram rabbit hole about learning about certain subjects, not necessarily like focusing on what other people are doing, but just kind of educating yourself.
The good kind of rabbit holes.
Yes. Learning about the plant medicine and endocannabinoid system so you know what you're talking about. That's really important, especially if you're going to be educating the people in your community and you're leaning more into that type of content. I know that we're all doing different things out there, as we talked about earlier, in case you missed it. You know, there's all kinds of people on social media, and there's all kinds of people watching this. You know, everybody from business owners, small business owners who are doing their own social media, to content creators who are looking how to kind of next level making their content seen and maybe possibly getting hired by companies. There might be companies who want to hire, you know, so they're, you know, if you're working on your personal brand or even something non-cannabis related, any of this stuff can be really connected to it. We do focus on cannabis specifically because it is such a niche topic, and it is very important to make sure that we're all connected when we are talking about this stuff, because it's very specific, and we have specific issues in regards to this.
And people will call you out in this industry, so you better know what the hell you're talking about.
True story. You know, watching and reading the news, you can stay tuned in with the current affairs in and out of our industry. or your current industry that you're focused on. This includes social media news and pages such as the creators. That's specifically for Instagram creators. Is that right?
Yeah, that was what I mentioned earlier, you guys. Creators, and then Adam, his name, I don't know, I can never pronounce his name correctly, but you know, the guy with the curly hair and the glasses who works for creators. Follow his account too, because he is always posting things weekly, and it's great to see the feedback in the comments and see how everybody hates the changes. You're not alone. Everybody hates changes, and so you know, you can kind of see everybody commiserate in there. So, and also give feedback, also ask questions. The comment sections are so valuable in the creators as well, because it's fellow creatives and entrepreneurs in there.
And the more you know about, you know, this plant, when we talk about this plant, we're talking about cannabis specifically, the more confident you'll feel and sound when you are educating your audience, if that is your intention. And I think that with a lot of cannabis brands, this is the most creative way that you could possibly get people to be excited about what you are doing and differentiate yourself from others who are not participating in this movement, who are not educating, who are not talking about the things that we need to be talking about, especially with the consumers and getting them excited about cannabis.
Yes. Get people excited about cannabis.
All right, so let's talk about engaging.
Yes, you guys, we have some non-negotiables, and these are in the guide. And I've also added a few additional ones, as you probably recognize, for those of you that already have the guide already. Without a doubt, as you can see today, Lisa and I both have good lighting. Now, you don't necessarily need a ring light. I don't have one right now. I have a big, beautiful window that I'm in front of, and it's working just fine. So don't make excuses. Find ways to make what you have work with what you have. We're all starting off with zero things. All I had was a camera in the beginning and a window. You can start off with a camera and a window too. So high quality video, I talk about this in the guide. Investing in a good phone, up-to-date phones, that is so important. That is part of your career. Tech is going to be part of your budget, whether you want to believe it or not. You don't necessarily need to buy a giant DSLR, big lenses, and all that great stuff. You can get most of your content done through a smartphone. You just need to make sure that you are getting up-to-date smartphones, not like the iPhone 6 right now. I mean, you probably still could shoot some stuff, but it's not going to look as high quality. And now that Instagram is showing all the high quality you want it to, and they won't even boost, because they have those free boosts now. They will not even boost your videos if your quality is low. It will tell you your videos are too blurry to be boosted. And I'm like, oh, Instagram's calling me out. So what I tend to do sometimes to save time and energy and effort is I'll create reels from old video content. So I kind of shoot myself in the foot sometimes because I won't be able to boost it. But if it makes sense to what you're trying to portray, then it's worth it to me. You know, as long as some people get to see it, my video content does not have to be viral for it to be valuable. Remember that. It doesn't have to be viral for it to be valuable. And sometimes you'll create content and months later or weeks later, all of a sudden it'll shoot out and like be viral all of a sudden. You don't know why. I don't have no idea how Instagram comes up with it, but be patient on some stuff. You never know, it's going to get shot back up into the algorithm and people will start to see it. So
can I interrupt here for a second and talk about boosting? I didn't know that you could really do that for cannabis accounts.
Yeah, well, until I got I just recently got shadow banned again, but they gave me a date this time, you guys. Usually they just shadow ban you and you don't know when you're going to be unshadow banned. I have until October 12th, which is kind of groovy, because I'm hoping by then the federal legalization thing will kind of have a little bit more headway, and we'll realize that maybe, you know, I won't be in trouble as much anymore, like once I get past that one. So they took away my ability to boost and like tag brands for partnered brand like partnerships and stuff like that, branded content. And I never did badges before, so that doesn't matter to me, but I can't get badges now, and I can't I don't know what the other one was, but anything that has to do with like monetization. But I don't go on the lives and do the badges, so that didn't really matter to me. But for those of you that could actually, you know, really make an impact. So yeah, you can boost. They do offer boosting for me, at least. I don't know how I got away with it, but they did offer the boost.
And do you pay for that?
Not that I know of.
You like literally click a button that says boost and it automatically boosts.
Yeah, it's a blue little button, and sometimes it'll say, "Oh, you can't boost this video because it's like I'll use a GIF from the Giphy, and it's like licensed or something. So like if I make the mistake and use something that's licensed, they'll say, oh, you can't boost this, or like once again, the video is too blurry or low quality to be boosted. So it's interesting. I don't know how they determine who gets that stuff and who doesn't, but it's one of the recent features that I've gotten.
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know that. And I mean, why wouldn't we just boost every single post then?
I know. I thought that was kind of a dumb question too. It's like, yeah, I want every single thing to get boosted. What is this? A crazy? Yeah. I always say yes. Even if they tell me no, I always just try and boost. So utilize it. You play around the app, you guys. When I had COVID, like when I started to feel better, like not the like first few days, but like the days that I was like starting to like just be bored in bed, I spent so much time getting to know my iPhone. I found out that there's like so many features that I didn't know existed, like pre-created, 4 different pre-created answering for your DM. So you can have like, I'm sorry, you guys, I didn't expect, there's an alarm going off. There's a fire alarm going off right now. Okay, they got it off. Okay. Sorry about that.
No, Jesse is coming to us live from Champs in Vegas. So it's always exciting in Vegas.
Okay, the light's still blinking, but the alarm's not going off anymore. I'm gonna see if people are still leaving. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. That was one thing I was not expecting today.
Okay.
Should I continue? What do you think?
I mean, why don't you pop off? I'm going to continue going here and come back on if it's a false alarm.
It seems like it's a false alarm because I don't see people running from the building. If I show back, is the noise. It's very.
Yeah.
I'm gonna mute myself while I'm not talking because that's really
okay.
just.
I can continue. No problem. I can continue. Okay, so Jesse was talking about high quality video. Next thing here was trending audio. So what I do know about this is, and what you had said to me as we were working on this content is, one thing that you could do is find trending audio and turn the volume down and use your own audio for speaking, which is really interesting approach. I always thought it was better to use a trending audio, like just in general, and just put music to things. But you're saying that trending audio can be used and you get included in the algorithm for that trending audio, but that you don't have to necessarily use it for your music. Is that right?
Yes. And the other thing that I noticed is I can also do like my voiceovers, and sometimes I'll use the trending audio just a little bit, like at 8. 8's a really good number so that you can still hear your voice clearly, but it's not being obstructed by like the new trending. With music, obviously, you're not gonna like talk over talking. But if there's like a song that's kind of like cool or sounds good, then use that.
Yeah, I think that is going to be something to really have a fun time figuring out like which trending audios to use. And I believe that the way it works is if you just go into your Instagram app and you click on search, there is a place to search for audio. And I'm hoping that maybe Jesse can come back for just a second here. Just give us a heads up about where we would find trending audio.
Yes, I definitely want to step in here and share this. Please excuse the alarms in the background, you guys. Hopefully you can hear me nice and loud and clear. I'm going to speak as loud as I possibly can. You go straight into when you first open your Instagram, you're going to see, I'm just going to do it with you guys so I can explain it perfectly, step-by-step directions. If you guys have your phones available right now, why don't you guys all take out your phones, open up the Instagram app. For those of you that are watching now, right smack dab in the middle is that little Reels icon. You're going to click that Reels icon, and the first thing that's going to pop up is going to be a video. And on the bottom left, you're going to see an arrow. If you see that arrow, that means that audio is trending. If you don't see it and it's a music note, it's just a cool music that they're using. It's just a cool reel that just happened to get into the algorithm. But if you want to use the one that you're viewing, you then click the photo to the right of it, and you're going to see the button at the bottom that says use audio or save audio. You have a couple of options. I personally, in the beginning, was saving just the audio, and then I would go back and my stoner ass was like, why did I save this video again? Why did I want to use it? So it's very important for you to also save the video itself, not just the audio. For me personally, and if you have like ADD or a really terrible memory, if you smoke a lot of pot, whatever those reasons, then cover yourself. Like make it easier on yourself. Streamline everything. We have all that available. So I even sometimes, because I have 2 separate accounts, and this works really well if you do have 2 separate accounts, I will go on my family page, do all my real research, and then I'll DM myself the videos and the like the carousels that I love, that I want to like either recreate or repost or utilize in my media too. So great ways for you to like find little hacks.
I think that those are really great hacks. I want to take a moment here for those of you who are wondering, like, okay, so how do I like even figure out how to decide what to even make? You're looking for inspirational things. You don't want to copy exactly what somebody did, but maybe use it for inspiration, or like you said, the sound.
I feel like there's always a way we can like look at reels with the lens of cannabis. You know, like if you see something and a mom's posting about like her top 5 things she likes to bring to the beach, well then why don't you make one like my top 5 Canna Mom tips that I bring when I go to the beach? And maybe it's like a really awesome like beverage you love, and maybe it's a My Bud based beach towel, and maybe it's like a certain joint that just like makes you feel really good on, you know, hanging out and playing with your kids. Whatever it is that's working well for you. Maybe it's a smoking device that's windproof because you're at the beach and it's blowing a shitload of wind, but you still want to sesh. Or maybe it's a vape because you don't have to deal with a lighter. You know, all those things that can be applied to kind of shift that dialogue, shift the way you think about cannabis, shift the way other people can think about cannabis. Just look through life the lens of someone who's never seen cannabis before. How can you reintroduce it to them, or how can you introduce it to them in ways that they never could imagine or never would imagine?
I love that. And obviously this is an ongoing experiment. And there are some people I think that are doing it really well. And I think there are some people you can tell that they're experimenting, and that's totally fine. That's what we want. We want to be experimenting with these tools. Again, it's free marketing for whatever it is you're trying to market. So why not try something? You don't have to pay for it. You know what I mean? If you're the one creating the content. Let's talk about engaging hook. What does that mean to you?
Oh my gosh, this is the tip of all tips, you guys. The engaging hook isn't just in your caption. The engaging hook now is in your text. That's why the clear text, readable text is so important. Adding captions is so important. If you go on my page right now, you will see that I love a good controversial line, and I will freeze my photo and my reel on like the most controversial part of my speech. For instance, I cut back on my cannabis consumption a couple of weeks ago, and I try my best. Like, obviously I'm on vacation now, it's a little bit different. For a couple of weeks, solely gummies, tinctures, definitely didn't combust. And so what I wrote was I took my caption and I wrote, I quit smoking weed, because I knew that caption was going to be engaging for people. If they saw that on my page, they would then click on my reel. One of my, most popular reels that has over 100,000 views is something that says what Canna Moms do on the first day of vacation. So people are going to be curious. They're going to say, what does she mean by that? That raises a question. It causes interest. And also look at it like on what would pique your curiosity. Why would you want to even tap on that too? Would that bring your attention in a good way or a negative way? It's really important for us to not only create engaging hooks in that first tagline with our caption, but bringing people in with readable text. And then when they have you make your cover photo, you freeze it on the most controversial part of your entire video.
Oh, that's really good. I think this actually kind of sparked something for me within our group, for those of you who are in the program, we have the social media program. We have a group where we get to talk to one another and share ideas and troubleshoot stuff. And this is actually something I can see is this an engaging hook? And just kind of like having a place to talk about
feedback. Yes.
Yeah, feedback.
Ooh, I love that. I think that's a really great idea. And those of you that are in our group right now, please use the space for stuff like that. That's what we created it for. Lisa and I want you guys to have a space where you can connect with like-minded individuals who are on that same path with you. And that's why I talked to Sabrina a couple weeks ago to talk about reels. I talked to other creators on how to create. We don't gatekeep information in this industry. We help one another out. So Talk amongst yourselves.
So important.
Yeah.
Okay, readable text. That kind of seems like duh, but like, can you elaborate on what that means?
You guys, readable. Like, we want the fonts to show. If you see me, I always try and put the squares behind the text to make it stand out even more, because I have people from all ages and different eyesights, and I want to make sure that people see my words loud and clear. So make sure that you can actually legibly read your text. If you're going to bother putting the text on there, look in the grid and make sure it matches in those lines that they create for us. They create those blue lines within the app. If you're editing within the app, use those lines to kind of stay in the parameters of it so that you can actually see it when it goes live. You don't want it cut off.
We didn't add this here, or maybe it's somewhere else, but adding captions, like not everybody is hearing, and also not everybody has their sound on, but captions can be really engaging and can also reinforce the message because someone's taking it in words, and also if they can and they are a hearing person, they can listen to that as well. But if they're not, then they have the words there that they can also engage in your content.
Yeah, I'm guilty. I watch and listen at the same time. I love the auditory and visual learning. That's just me. But yeah, captions, if you're not doing captions yet, you are giving yourself like a big disadvantage. I feel like it's 30% more people will watch reels with captions than not. It's like a crazy high number. So do yourself a favor. Instagram already offers that they do it all for you. Before, we had to type it all out back in like the day before they had these options out. Now you don't have to hand type those captions. They generate it for you. Sometimes it's a little wonky. It's not perfect. It's AI. You can always go in there and edit it. But when it comes down to it, if you're not doing it, you're missing out on a really big demographic that potentially could learn and benefit from you.
Mm-hmm. All right. Clear call to action. That's what CTA means. So let's talk about a call to action.
So at the end of your captions, you want to create any sort of engagement. And the way we do it is this. You can say, for instance, let's say we were making a reel about cringe, how you feel. You can write down at the bottom, like, what are your tips on how to help others like feel less cringy when they're creating content? Or if I'm making a reel about a dry herb vape, like, how many of you out there have tried this? Or what's your experience with dry herb vapes? Or do you have a favorite dry herb vape? You're creating engagement in your comments, and you're giving opportunity to educate and also tag other brands. So other brands could potentially see your page because all of a sudden Boundless is being tagged in your page, and Dynavap and all these other like dry herb vapes, because people are sharing their favorites. So then it creates even more, like, it appeases the algorithm, let's just say, because Instagram wants people to spend more time on your page. They want more people to come to your page. So when other friends are tagging other friends and other brands, that's what creates a really viral experience. And that's why you see when that happens. I'm so lucky. My community is so good about commenting on my page, but that's because I have always engaged with them back. And I create a call to action as best as I can. Not everybody's always going to respond, even to mine. Even with all these years of experience, you guys, I don't always have all the engagement that I want also, but at least try. Don't just put a post up there and be like, this is me at the dispensary. Like, that's not going to teach anybody anything. Right in the bottom, do you live in a legal state? Or let us know where you're from, or what was your first dispensary experience like, or what do you prefer delivery, or do you prefer going in person? Like, there's so many ways that you can create dialogue and bring people to stay on your page or come back to that page later.
Love it. And of course, we can brainstorm in our group, if you are in the program, what kind of call to action might work, and let's try some stuff on. Let's mastermind together. So clear intention for your post: educate, entertain, inspire. Let's talk about that. Super, super important.
Can you repeat that again? Sorry. I just
no worries. Clear intention for your post: educate, entertain, and inspire. There's a recipe there, right?
Yes. So what we were talking about earlier, how I went through each subject, go back and listen: educate, entertain, inspire. Those are 3 pillars that I chose for myself, and that a lot of us in this industry tend to go for. We are either there to educate, entertain, inspire, or all 3. And so when you're creating your content,
set that intention, go, okay, well, is this reel going to be there to entertain people? Is this reel going to be there to educate somebody? Is it going to be inspired? Or is it all three? Sometimes a reel, if it's so amazing, it can literally be all three of those things. And that's when you know you really hit a home run.
Engagement on the app, you get what you give. So I really think that you are amazing at this. Like, you do have your own recipe about engaging in not just your content, but other people's content as well. I see you out there. And I think this is like actually one of the biggest issues is like posting and ghosting, I think is what you've said, is like posting something and then running away. It's like, no one's going to care as much as you do about what you posted. And so not only is it showing up for the people that you're trying to engage with, but it also tells Instagram, hey, this post is engaging and I'm going to show it to more people. It taps into the algorithm. The more comments are on it, the more likes, but especially the more saves and the more sends, right? I saw that recently, a statistic. I don't remember exactly what it was, but it does lean a little bit more heavily in the saving and sharing. But it does absolutely, if there's going to be like 20 comments or 2 comments, which post do you think Instagram is going to say, hey, this should be seen by more people? It's the one with 20 comments or more.
That's why it's really important for you to create content calendars ahead of time so that you're not like the day of going like, oh my God, what am I going to post? What, I don't even know what to do. So if you, for instance, are going to just go after those 3 pillars, have an educational post. Like, for instance, Monday's my Mythbuster, Wednesday's my wellness, Friday's kind of like a wild card. And if I feel like it, Tuesdays and Thursdays or whatever I want in between. But it's really important for us to kind of keep a rhythm going so that we don't fall off track with creating good content or creating consistent content.
Word. Utilize story stickers or ask a question. I think you're very good at this. Again, you should definitely watch the Mommy Jane stories for like how she engages in her audience and how she talks to her audience. She's an amazing role model for all of us in how you can use Instagram specifically as tools like the story stickers or asking a question. Do you want to elaborate on this?
Yeah, I even do like the goofiest stuff. Like, should I stay home or should I go run errands? Like, even just something funky like that, or should I smoke this strain or this strain, or which bong do you like better? And it can be like something like that, or it can be like something really deep, like what do you struggle with most in this industry, or share something with me that you're really proud of. And so there's different things that It just depends on the day, where what I'm getting from my audience, and like also the DMs that I get, because like all of a sudden I'll start getting certain DMs and like, oh, I should really ask this question because I'm getting it a lot, or I should see if other people feel this way. And so I'm actually really surprised how many people answer when I put those ask me anything's up, or tell prompts for people like, hey, what do you want to know more about with dry herb vape, or what do you want to know more about with traveling with cannabis, or whatever it is, like the question that you're trying to focus on. Put those prompts in there. Those tickets are those icons are there for a reason. Those emojis are there for a reason. That draws people's attention. It's not just like a photo on the slide. Like, you want to bring people in for the same reasons that you stay on. But if you like it, then you use it. If the influencers and advocates that you follow do something, start making it and weaving it into your community as well.
Love it. I know we're definitely going to go over a little bit on the hour here, but I think that this content's really important. We want to get through the rest of it. And then for those of you who are on the live, we will be going into a session, and you can ask us any questions about cannabis and social media. Pick our brains. We're going to be there for those that stay afterwards. So. All right. So other non-negotiables. This is about educational content. Do you want to come through this? You're muted.
Excuse me. I just wanted to say that we covered a lot of this, so I'm going to go through this as quickly as I can because I know we have time. We have a few more slides. But as Lisa was saying earlier, create savable, shareable content. If it's not providing value for you and your audience, just don't bother. I can a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff that doesn't make it the chopping block. There's a lot of stuff I wish made it, and sometimes it doesn't because the timing's not right. So another thing is to ask your audience what they want to hear from you. That's how I brought the Mythbusters back. I had so many people requesting that I bring that back, and now it's back. So listen to your community, Share your experiences honestly. Vulnerability creates connection, and connection creates community. Every time I'm honest and open, whether it's, my struggles with my business partners in the past, or my struggles with my marriage currently, or my struggles with my children sometimes, because parenting is freaking hard. I share it all. I am an open book because I'm not afraid. I don't have shame. And I know deep down that my story is going to help at least a handful of others, if not, dozens more. So I created an open, honest policy because I'm the mommy Jane, and moms always want their children to be honest with them, and I want my community to be honest with me, and vice versa. So I'm not going to lie to you. I don't want you to lie to me. We create that mutual respect, and that also goes with you guys engaging with your audience as well. It goes into the DMs. It goes into the comments. The engagement is so important. And
I want to
then
add here, sorry to interrupt, but I wanted to say that like you are amazing at this. Like I've really been in awe of like how capable you are of being vulnerable and sharing your truth, no matter where you're at, no matter what mood you're in. I think that that's really beautiful, and like to each their own. Like not everybody's going to want to feel like they can share themselves, and not everyone's going to be prepared for what that means. But if you do want to lean into it, your audience and your community will really be so grateful that you are doing that.
Yeah, they'll see you in a different light, and you really want your audience to trust you. You're talking about something so important and so life-changing. And if they can't trust you with that, then why? Why would you even want to be in their lives for this reason? You need to be someone that's of authority and of trust if you're going to be walking, if you want to be walking in that journey of the industry. And obviously a lot of us do. That's why we're here. We want to be advocates, educators, and passionate influencers and brands. That's why we're all here, and that's why we're part of the Toketivity community as well. So it's really important to find your level of vulnerability and go for it, and don't feel shame.
Okay.
And then that brings me to my next one. Is what? Go on.
Well, wait, did we cover all the bases over
Yeah,
here?
really fast on the back. Go back and one more. Mastering your niche. Like, get to know your audience. Get to know what's going on in your niche. If it's a motherhood, get to know everything that's motherhood. Follow other mother influencers that have nothing to do with your industry. What are the moms talking about? What are the moms struggling with? Or what are your, whatever your audience is. For me, I'm just saying moms because it's just me and it's natural. But if you are, let's say, an athlete, follow other athletes that aren't in the industry and find out what their pain points are and what they're talking about, and how can you weave that into your audience as well. Also look at your audience. I talk about this in the guide, so I'm not going to go into it too much, but go and stalk your audience. You want to know more about that, you got to buy the guide, but it's important to stalk your audience in a safe and healthy way. I know I probably piqued a little bit of curiosity, but I'm not going to give all the secrets away. I want you guys to buy this guide because it's so important, and I want you to join our community. So if you want to know more about that, then keep on following us, because there's more to come where that came from. And you don't have to be serious to be educational. You can make educational fun and, as you saw today, fast.
Fun and fast. All right, let's talk about viral. Okay, we've talked about how, there's no pressure to go viral, or like your videos aren't bad if they don't go viral, and your content is still important if it doesn't go viral. But there are some cool tips about potentially going viral. So, Jess, you want to go over those?
Yes. So what I discovered, because I noticed like certain videos just go so much more crazy than others, the optimal time isn't exactly when your audience is there. It's actually 30 to 60 minutes before those peak hours. So what I like to do, like I've posted this before in my stories, but I create this rhythm where like I go in, I catch up on the comments from the night before, I put in my stories stickers because I want people to interact in my stories, because I want my stories to also stay up high on that list too, for people to see every single day. And I also want people that when I do post in my feed, I can share it back in my stories, and those people that are watching my stories will also see my feed post too. So it creates this whole cycle that people are already in my stories. They're already anticipating that I'm going to post that day. I go into the comments immediately, or like within the first 30 minutes, and I start responding to them as quickly as possible. There are days where I have content for days, but if I'm out and about, I won't post it. If I can't be there for my audience, it's pointless. It is absolutely pointless for me to put a video out there and for me to disappear for the day. So I love to try and put it on the days where I know I'm going to be home, Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays. That way I know I can engage my audience and make sure that that video stays loved and massaged, you know? And then stay for active for like about the same time afterwards. Like I said, I stay within the first 30 minutes. Some people can stay for an hour. And then during that time, while you're waiting for comments to come through, go in your DMs, start answering DMs and create that cycle of communication. And then, like I said earlier, be consistent. I would start with 1 to 3 days to post a reel. People post reels every single day. That's fine. I don't want to scare you guys off. I want you to start off small and add as you go and as you feel comfortable with it. And then, as we talked about earlier, using viral sound bites and songs, but turning that volume down, using your own audio so you still please that algorithm and actually make them part of your reel. And then, as I mentioned earlier, also making that cover photo. But this time you can even use a quote from your reel that you make ahead of time. So it's like visually appealing. If you already know what you're going to say and you already know that that quote's going to be in your reel, make like a little graphic with that quote. And then you can make that as your photo grid photo as well. So that'll attract people. Or write a statistics. You can even say like 87% of Americans approve of cannabis. And that's like the sticker so that people stick on that. They see it first thing and then the reel starts automatically. And you can talk about how Americans are accepting cannabis more and more daily, whatever. I'm just throwing ideas out there, but it's important for you to kind of tie it in, make it more educational as in many ways as we possibly can. And that's pretty much it. We talked about the controversial text part earlier. I just want to repeat that in there because it does have to do with the viral stuff as well.
The controversial stuff. I want to just take a second here and maybe this is something we can talk about in our after party here in the live is what do you decide to post when it is controversial? Because you might be the kind of person who's kind of freaked out by that or scared by that or don't want to engage in those kind of angry comments and stuff like that. And so, as I'm saying that, let's save that for our conversation afterwards and talk about that a little bit more.
I think that's really important. And I look forward to that.
Okay, so do this. Jesse said, be relatable, like just be yourself. That is the most relatable thing you could possibly do. You mentioned here using Reels templates and anything else Instagram launches to make your life easier. What is a Reels template?
So apparently, there are some reels that have templates, and you're going to have to see when you go into that first reel button that I showed you, the icon when you first come in, they'll say like, use this template. Not every reel obviously has a template because it's not like that, but especially for like the photo changing ones lately, like the bam, 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 like the photo keeps changing like every like 1.5 seconds. They've already made it so like, it's like in 1.5 squares and you just add photo, add photo, add photo, add photo, like, and it goes to the rhythm of the song for you. Like they literally are holding your hand to create this stuff now. I wish this was there when they first launched it, but it's fine. It is what it is. But you really need to utilize these things that make life so much easier. Like I said with the captions earlier, they now have those, and those weren't there before in little grids to keep your text within the right amount of space so that you're not just all over the place with your fonts and stuff. So anything they launch to make your life easier, whether it's the sound bites or the boosts or the templates, use it. The more you use those things, they will boost your stuff because you're like scratching their back, they'll scratch yours.
How interesting. I know that TikTok has a lot of those like templates that are already kind of made there, which is really, really fun. It sounds like Instagram is obviously trying to keep up with TikTok.
Copycats, yep.
Yeah. Batch your content. This is really exciting. I tried this on for the first time, I want to say like 6 months ago, and it was really fun. Jesse says, keep it simple, sweetie, the KISS method. And I want you to elaborate in a minute about that, but I wanted to share about batching content and just from experience of just practicing. Like I wrote a little script. I wrote down all the subjects I wanted to cover and then a little script for each one that would be under a minute. Like we want to try to keep things, like Jesse says, simple and also short with the reels, because for reels, I think it was a minute long.
They've given us more time now because they want every video to be a reel.
That's really interesting. So there's a big change there and ongoing changes, but batching content you can do in like an hour, or depending on how long you want and how elaborate you want to be. But I did mine, I want to say, in about an hour, and I recorded like, I want to say 25 videos in an hour.
Yep.
And that was like, okay, and then I can use this. I don't have to post them all at once, but now I don't have to do anything for another month.
Yes. I for those of you that know this, I've batched all my Mythbusters until October, so hopefully nothing changes in the algorithm too much. But one of the things I learned from that, I did more than just that content that week. So what I did is I learned it from a therapist I follow. He wears band shirts and he does these 1-minute videos that he talks about therapy, but like every 6 videos he's wearing the same shirt. So he wore that shirt, filmed 6 videos, changed the shirt, filmed 6 videos, changed the shirt, and then he staggers those videos throughout the month. So it doesn't look like he spent a Saturday afternoon creating 85 videos on 6 different t-shirts.
Yes, I think that's actually a great tip. And something that I love is that, like, I like wearing a base shirt underneath and then having, I don't know if you have a lot of these, but like having a jacket or a shirt, you can just kind of be like, boop, you put it on, take it off, put it on, take it off, to change it up so that you don't have to record, or maybe even change the way your hair is too.
You don't even have to do that. No. Sometimes I'll record with like a naked face and it'll slowly like have lipstick on or like pink lipstick. And then like after the second like filming batch, it's red lipstick. And so like that's how I'll like slowly, without overdoing it. You want to make it easier for yourself, because like I said, these are 15-second videos to 60-second videos and beyond. They're not looking at you for very long. Obviously you want to look visually appealing, but not at the cost of your life and time.
Right. Make your page 18 plus. I'm curious about this and your thoughts around that, because how does that help you?
Well, it doesn't help me. I could probably get a lot more views if I didn't have it, but I've done that since 2 years ago because of the shadow ban scared the hell out of me so much that I was finding ways that I could cover myself. I'm even considering putting 18 and over in my bio just to like be extra safe, because I just don't want any sort of controversy coming at me for any reason, especially because I became an educator in the public school systems too, gives it a less chance of my students to find me personally. This is just me, how I feel. Obviously some of us are a little bit more open than others, and we'll talk about vulnerability in the green room later on, but it's knowing what your comfortability level, and I know that I potentially could get more people, but it's not worth it to me to get the wrong audience.
Mm-hmm. So creating a disclaimer in your notes that you can add to the end of every reel. Do you have that in your reels?
No, I haven't got the verbiage to the point where I want it to be yet. So I'm not going to put it out there until it's where I'm at, but it's something I've talked about with my IP lawyer. It's something that's been in the creations for like a few months now too. And I just noticed it and a few other people like in the past couple of months. And I just shared one today in my story. So if you guys want to go on my stories and see how Shay does it, I posted how she puts hers first. She puts hers before the hook even. The disclaimer is like as the caption. And I really appreciate someone that is trying her hardest to try and appease the Instagram's algorithm and make sure that we don't say things we're not supposed to be saying.
Mm-hmm. We're going to kind of plow through a couple of these other ones because we do want to get to some of the Q&A afterwards.
Yeah.
And we have a couple more things. Obviously, this could be a 3-part series we're learning right now.
Real, you guys.
Yeah,
Real.
I know, which we understand. Like, this is why we wanted to break it down and have this conversation, because like it's simple and complicated at the same time. And you want to pick and choose where are you going to put your energy. And again, remember what we talked about in the very beginning, which is like giving you a menu of options so that you feel empowered to have choices. That's what we want. Jesse mentioned here playing around with stop motion and different angles and fun transitions. There's a bunch of like accounts out there that you can follow, and I follow some of them that like teach you different camera angles. I think that's really fun, and we need a little bit of variety in our life. Finding a third-party editing app that you can enjoy making your content. I've played around with Splice. What have you played around with?
I use what is it called? Video Leap. I love Video Leap. That's very helpful for me. And then if I really want to get like super kawaii and funky, I use Prequel, because they have like those glittery like filters and like all that zhuzhy crazy kawaii stuff. So if I really want to like, you know, do something really wild like visually, I go into Prequel because they have like filters I'd never seen. I mean, I'm sure Instagram's caught up now, but in the beginning they had some really cool wild filters on there. So play around, but Video Leap's really great. You can do like voiceover stuff with that. And then since you're all here today, I want to share with you one of my biggest tips. I purchased a $99 broadcasting app that projects my scripts onto my screen. So I'm reading my script as I'm talking, and you guys can't, no one's the wiser. So obviously I'm not telling everybody this because this is something that, you know, only us, you know, our little groups can share together. But it's a really, it's an investment. But for me to save that time to not go, I got to take another take. I need another take. No, I just want to do one and done. I know what I'm going to say. I have my script written out. I read it and I'm done. So it streamlines my process. I don't have to do more than one take hardly ever, unless there's like lipstick on my face and I don't notice it. Or like a fire alarm goes off in the middle of you recording. But other than that, like anything that you can prevent, make it easier. And yes, it was an investment. It was $99, but I was telling Jason, like within a week, it was already paying for itself in my mind because it saved me so much time, effort, and energy. It's called Big View VU, not VIEW, but VIGVU. And I'm sure there's other platforms out there. There might even be free ones. It's just something that I use that works for me.
Awesome. Saving reels as you go, just in case. There are different ways that you can do that. Removing watermarks, there are different like ways that you can do that. Again, we can talk about this. And this is, again, great subjects for our cohort and our group of folks who have the program, because like obviously there's a lot to figure out and you don't have to do it alone, which is why we created a program. And we have like a lot of this stuff that we talk about, not just with reels, but like with a lot of other subjects in regards to social media content creation. And it's really robust, and it definitely goes through a lot of this stuff. And again, the group is such a great way to get support for this. But understanding the community guidelines is important. I think it's a good read, and really understanding where they're coming from so you can navigate through them. And what do you mean by create suggestive content?
Suggestive content. Those of you that have been following me for a while, you know that I always say suggestive is better than actually following through. So suggestive content you've seen recently, it's the calendula instead of the cannabis. It's the broccoli instead of the cannabis. It's the grass instead of the cannabis. It's not exactly in my mouth yet suggestive content that the smoking industry does, the alcohol industry does. You look at our, not necessarily competition, but kind of, look at those people and how their Instagrams are run, how their influencers are portraying that product. Not everybody's just drinking the wine. They're like cheersing. It's sitting next to them at the pool, but they're not necessarily drinking it. So suggest. You don't always have to partake.
All right, we talked about that. So ask yourself the following. How much time will the viewer spend on your post? How likely is it that someone is going to like it? How likely is it that someone is going to comment on it? What about saving it? How likely will someone tap on your profile after seeing a reel? I think these are all really interesting questions that you won't really know until you start experimenting with what you notice is working. And we're giving you a lot of tips on what has really worked for Jessie, and some of those things have worked for us. And we're also learning a lot from Jessie, and it's ongoing learning, right? We talked about ongoing education and being on the up and up about like what's going on. If you want to use these free marketing tools like Instagram. Some real ideas I thought were really fun and helpful that Jessie put together. Helpful tips, unexpected outcomes, story time, like just sharing stories.
Yeah.
Do you want to share more about that?
Yeah, story time can be like a different thing. Like, you know, you see those on TikToks also, like, oh my gosh, today I went over to the dispensary and yada, yada, this happened. Like, you know, you can just share something along those lines, or I had this really great experience with a bud tender. That's a story time. Or you can do a story time like, like in the past, like back in the day, I was doing this, but now I do this. Like, share your triumphs, share those relatable little tidbits where people can go, oh, I felt that way too. For instance, 420 in 2018, 2017, I called a delivery service and I ended up crying on the phone. Like, so embarrassing, but that's my story and it is what it is. But if you're not prepared and if you're not treated well in this industry and if you come, ill prepared to a dispensary on a busy holiday, they're going to hang up on you. They don't want to deal with you and you're going to have to realize that. So story time is important because you learn from experiences, you learn from others, and you can have that in so many different ways.
So many good stories. We all got a lot of stories.
Yes.
Relatable moments and thoughts, like that's just the human experience, right? So like, what is relatable? You do mom content, Canna Mom content. That's relatable to Canna Moms, being
a lot
mom,
of trending things are relatable. A lot of trending noises have relatable outcomes, and moments. And yeah, that's look at the trends. The trends will help you create relatable stuff where people can go, oh yeah, that's me. I do that too.
Yes. Something that's satisfying. There's this whole like ASMR thing. I don't know if anybody's really leaning into that in the cannabis space, but I've been seeing that a lot. And that's kind of interesting. I don't know what other things might be satisfying, but some visually satisfying things. I've seen people do like dominoes or like close-ups of like, I don't know, like bong smoke or whatever. There's a lot of different opportunities for doing satisfying content creation. Try this. That's kind of fun. Super short, something very short. I know that there's some algorithm stuff that if you do something like someone has to watch it again to like then kind of really get the whole picture, or it automatically starts again because the video is so short, you're going to actually increase your views, and that's going to help with the algorithm a lot. Explainer videos, love those. Also, like using that text that we talked about earlier, like clear text, to make sure that those explainer videos are super clean. Answering DMs. I guess this is, you want to talk about that? You're muted. Jesse, you're muted. Okay.
If you have a great community like I do, you're very lucky to get the DMs that I do, or in the comments. There are comments and DMs questions constantly coming in. For myself, it's cannabis and breastfeeding. It's is CBD or CBN going to make me sleepy, or all those things that you can either put the sticker up or just flat out make content based off of questions that you get all the time. So check out your DMs. I bet there's probably 5 content creation ideas just sitting in there waiting for you. Listen to your people. They're telling you what they want to hear.
Word. Comment on industry news. That's like comes and goes a lot. And Marijuana Moment is like, I think, a great news source for up and coming constantly things like, constant news. And their Twitter account is amazing. Sharing about a tool you use, whatever that is. Maybe it's like a cool bong. Again, being mindful about what kind of cannabis stuff you're bringing into the space and how cannabis forward you want your account to be. The more cannabis forward you are, the more risks you're taking in regards to how Instagram sees that as, not content for kids. Because it's not content for kids, but we are also, there's a lot of different kinds of communities out there that are posting on Instagram that are not for kids, and it is a marketing tool, so you have to find the sweet spot there. And again, our group and our cohort is a really great space to really kind of bounce ideas off of if you want support from myself and from Jesse in our program. Unboxing a product, you've probably seen that a lot out there. Encouraging messages of just kind of like words of wisdom. Client results. What's BTS?
Behind the scenes, not the K-pop band.
Okay. Behind the scenes. Yes, that's a really good one. And everybody's curious about what happens behind the scenes. Overcoming a pain point and an origin story. So this is some tips to avoid getting shut down. We did say that we were going to talk about this a little bit, and I really wanted to kind of address this. This is an ongoing thing. So again, being a part of our group and our program is going to be important if you're trying to stay above the line. Get creative about using the word cannabis. There are lots of different ways to use the word cannabis that don't say cannabis. So again, Jesse talked about broccoli and like using plant stuff. And We've been experimenting with using the @ sign for the A and
Yeah.
like different little things that kind of make it seem like you're not using the word cannabis. Eventually, like places like TikTok and stuff are picking up on the word. People have been using the word weed, like QUID, and they've picked up on that, and they now censor that. So, yeah, I know. So eventually, some of the stuff that we're all doing will probably get shadow banned, especially with legalization being where it's at. But look to what other creators are doing whose videos are not getting taken down and whose videos are being seen about what are they doing. And that goes hand in hand for hashtags as well. And if you really want to be extra careful, don't show weed or consumption. I think what I've experienced is on Instagram, there's more people on there that are showing weed and are showing consumption. Although I feel like there's been a round of shutdowns lately, and we don't really 100% know exactly what it was that led to that, but I could guarantee you that it was about showing consumption or talking about cannabis specifically. So if you can do that in a different way, TikTok is extra about this. If you even show a bong in your video, they will remove it immediately. Their AI is so good that it knows what a bong looks like, and it knows if you're smoking a joint, and it knows if you are consuming in some way. Some people have gotten creative about blowing out smoke, but again, just be mindful. Do you want to spend all of your time and energy doing all this stuff, and then like a bong video gets your entire account shut down? Like, it is a choice, you know what I mean? And it is a risk. So we can talk about other tips, and this is again an ongoing conversation. So putting it all together, we talked about confidence and authenticity are the key to creating outstanding reels. Image and video quality are very important. Original content is absolutely favored by the algorithms and will definitely get you prioritized on Instagram specifically, as well as TikTok, I know, but we are talking about Instagram today. Understanding and respecting the community guidelines. Again, we like to live in the gray area here in cannabis land, so we like to ride that line as best we can. Again, making sure that you're understanding that you are taking risks by talking about something that is a controlled substance at this point. So you need to be mindful and look to those who have been doing it for a minute to see how they are communicating about cannabis. The feeling of cringe is totally normal. I'm on video all the time and I'm constantly talking to people, and I still get uncomfortable sometimes when I'm like, oh, I'm gonna like post a video, and like, that's normal. And Jessie's been doing this a long time. She still feels that way. It also makes me think about celebrities who have, even comedians who've been on stage thousands of times and they still get nervous before they go live. So it's normal. It's part of the body's senses.
You're normal. You're just like us, I promise.
Repurpose old content to save time if you can. Content is everywhere. Get it. Practice. Just keep doing your thing. You have insights and audience, and it will show you what type of content to create. Like bounce ideas off of them, see what they want to hear from you about, and do it. And then also have fun and don't take yourself too seriously. So
that's the most important. We're supposed to have fun here, you guys. Don't forget that.
Have fun. So for those of you want to like next level their understanding about social media, want to tap into our group and our group support, you can get the guide, watch the videos, and join our support group. Our guide to becoming a cannabis social media influencer. It's a digital program and an ebook. So there's over 70 videos that are broken down into chewable bites that you can easily execute on. We talked about a little piece of that today. Reels is just a part of the puzzle of a very big puzzle here when putting social media content together. Over 85-page guide. It's downloadable if you prefer to consume content in like reading. Maybe you want to watch a video and you want to read about it. It's totally up to you. And then our online support group with me and Jessie, who are there for you to support you in the growing pains of doing this thing. So with the, we also talk about in the guide, building a brand, finding your niche, talking about websites, building community, brands and creator relationships, fail-proof steps for posting and posing, advice on how to not make the mistakes that we did. And plus ongoing free educational creative pro workshops every month through April 2023 with the Mommy Jane and Toketivity. So we will be finding our way through here. We might also be producing some stuff that is more about like websites or maybe SEO or certain things that I know are going to help you navigate your business. So but you'll definitely get the Creative Pro workshops every month, whether Mommy Jane is with us every single month or not. And there's a ton that goes into their Creative Pro membership. You get, opted into our directory, whether you're a journalist or your writing skills, again, social media content creation. If you specialize in something, we want to put you into our directory. We want to help connect you with others who are looking for your skills. So that's really what our Creative Pro membership is really all about, is connecting the dots. Exclusive interview invitations. We get invitations all the time for press. And then we will also be talking with those who are in our programs and who are in our memberships who want to be seen and heard. There'll be other content opportunities and connections, and then discounts on guides and programs in the future. And today only, if you happen to be here with us, we wanted to gift everybody who showed up, who is here today and is watching this today, a 50% off of our entire program. It's normally $299, and so today it's going to be $149.50. And we're throwing in 3 months of Creative Pro membership absolutely free. So that is going to hopefully give you a boost to like practice, be seen, tap into our network, tap into our, our support group. And, hopefully that is, going to help you in your journey. We want you to be successful, and you can use the coupon code it's all one word, all lowercase, today only 50. I believe that is the coupon code. Let me just double check that. Yep, today only 50. And you can get 50% off of the program and hop on board the train, get rolling with those videos, get rolling in our group, tap into our knowledge base, and, have fun with it.
So, we want you to have fun. Cannabis is fun. Social media is fun.
Yeah, social media is fun. So I want to say thank you so much. I think we're going to extend this a little bit. Obviously, we went over big time with our content today. But I also know it was very, very juicy. And obviously, they could have gone so much further in so many different directions. So I'm thinking in the future, this might be kind of like a 3-part series. And thank you so much for participating in this amazing, amazing journey.
Thank you, everybody, for having me here today. It's always a pleasure to share my knowledge. It's always a pleasure to partner with Toketivity in any aspect. And I look forward to seeing you all grow. Please don't hesitate to reach out to us. We are here for you. We are the women that we wanted to have available to us when we first started. And now we can create it for you. Please utilize it. This is like priceless information, priceless support.
Absolutely. So for those of you who are live, stick around, meet us in the sessions. It's on the left-hand side. Jesse, for you, it's on the bottom under that little turn. And we'll see you on the other side. Thank you so much for joining us today.
I'm going to hop over there right now. I'll see you guys in just a sec.
See you there.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.